Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching His word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And I say shalom to you, Akim, out there. And this is a sit-down lesson for In the News on October the 5th, 2022 at 7:15 p.m. Central Standard Time on this Wednesday night. And this is a news article from CNN in regards to CNN Business. And this was published by Paul R. LaMonica of CNN Business, updated at 4:07 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, October 5th, 2022. And the highlight of this news article, when it reads for today in the news on October 5th, 2022 on Wednesday, it says stocks ends Wednesday slightly lower following a 2-day huge surge. It says maybe that October rally has done some legs after all. Stocks were mostly unchanged Wednesday. Even a fresh batch of economic data reveals continued strength in the job market in America's sectors that led to a new worries that the Federal Reserve aggressively rate hikes, as they do it once again, meant to curb inflation, which, I mean, many is times they want to do that because the inflation is going to continue to go out through the roof. With consumer spending, gas prices going to continue to go up. Even though gas prices been going down for the past 2 or 3 months so far. But according to experts that deal with finances and stuff like that, there's going to be a potential increase of gas prices, consumer spending, and inflation continue to go up as we entering fall and all the way to winter as well too. But continuing on with the reading, it says that leads to a new worries that the Federal Reserve aggressively rate hikes means to curb inflation will eventually lead to a recession. It says the Dow Jones ended the day with a loss of a little more than 40 points, which is I checked the statistics of today's Dow Jones, and it had ended a 2-game winning streak from Monday to Tuesday. Now this is Wednesday. Now the 2-day winning streak ends with the Dow Jones going negative 42 points or 0.1%. The Dow Jones has been down more than 400 points early and briefly slipped back up to 30,000. Right, because I believe it was like at 29,000, something like that. And then since, for the past 2 games, they had their gains of the Dow Jones of increase. It went back up to 30,000 from 29,000 after the 2-day game. It says Wednesday's decline ended a brief winning streak on Wall Street, though the Dow surged nearly 1,600 points over the course of Monday and Tuesday. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, which also soared during the past 2 days, fell 0.2% and 0.3% respectively. The stocks popped early this week despite concerns about the financial health of global bank giant SUSE, which is CS, and a drop in job openings in the United States. It says this bad news lifted Wall Street's moves because investors bet that it could lead to the Feds to slow its pace on rate hikes. Australia's central bank raised rates by smaller than expected amounts as well as this week, adding to hope that the global policymakers are starting to worry more about about an economic slowdown than inflation. But the narrative shifted briefly for a little bit Wednesday. Payroll processed, the ADP reported a bigger than expected increase in private sector jobs for September, a sign that the United States companies are still hiring at a solid pace. What's more than Institute for Supply Management reported Wednesday that its non-manufacturing index was higher than forecast. Actively did for August, but service companies still report steady growth. The solid economic data is likely to keep the Federal on course to raise rates sharply in November and December, perhaps too sharply. There are growing concerns that the chances of a so-called monetary policy mistake are increasing, that the Feds will cause a recession. It says rising energy prices could weigh on a consumer settlement as well as the OPEC announced production cuts Wednesday. News that lifted oil prices. The rise in oil gave a lift to energy stocks, helping to prop up the overall market. The Chevron CVS was on the top. Dow Jones stock rise about 1%. ExxonMobil, XOM, and oil giants Scumberger, Scumberger, if I pronounced it right, the SLB and the Halliburton HLA were among the leaders in the S&P 500, and each stock gained between 4% and 6%. So, so yeah, as you had the stock right here, as you know, as I was continuing to read about the reports of you're gonna see once again an increase of gas prices, oil prices, consumer spending, cost of living is gonna be continuing to go up. Even though the Dow Jones, S&P 500, and the Nasdaq had all good gains for the past 2 days, 2 day winning streak, now it ends with a drop back down to negative 42%. Negative 42 points, as the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, they both fell as well too. I believe to like 0.1 to 0.2%. So all three markets has slipped down a little bit after they 2 game winning streak. So you still got the Feds still concerned about the inflation as they continue to raise the federal tax hikes to slow down the inflation, and then you still have a lot of people worried that it's gonna enter economic sanctions, as we've been saying this for the past month or two or so, and it seems like it might be heading that direction. I believe, as I was reading, as far as here in the United States, they had a good steady data of unemployment. Of employment. I meant to say good job data shows, but it's still going to show the increase of the inflations, because the inflation is going to continue to increase. The oil price is going to continue, the gas price is going to continue to go up as well too, and the consumer spending as well too. As always, continually, the Federal of Wall Street going to continue to increase the federal tax hike, while they continue to find ways to maneuver to decrease the increasing rise of inflation. You know. So with that, I hope this sit-down lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. So expect to see more continuing inflation increase, more oil prices, and more consumer spending as well too, as the federals of Wall Street going to continue to raise federal tax raise to continue to ease the inflation, which is most likely is not going to be able to work, as you see a increase of worries of that the country might enter a possible of a recession as that's continued to grow even more and more. And it's going to affect globally as well too. So with that, I hope this sit-down lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakar double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom and a ball.